As an international student, it's difficult to navigate through taxes, especially when starting a new job in Canada. Your employer might give you two forms like this. It's called TD1 form. One is federal and another is provincial. The purpose of this form is to tell your employer about any possible provincial or federal grants or tax credits you are eligible for. That way, your employer can calculate how much tax to deduct from your salary based on the number of months left plus your credits. Please note that this form is not alternative to tax returns and it's not going to CRA, but it's a suggestion for your employer on how much tax to actually deduct from your salary. So don't worry about doing any mistakes in this form, it's not going to do any harm to you. Hi, I am Raj, your friend in need, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire form in detail and will answer some commonly asked questions, so you don't struggle while filling out this form. And please let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section below. This is a 2024 TD1 form, but even if you are filling out this in future, you can still refer to this video, just the numbers will change. Please remember that this video is dedicated to the international student to make their TD1 form filing easier. If you need full explanation, please check out video somewhere here. Let's get started. The first section is about personal information. As you can see, last name, first name, date of birth, address, postal code that you can enter already. If you have an employee number, please enter it here, otherwise leave it blank. Now this part for non-residents only is quite confusing, so let's talk about it. You are non-resident for income tax purpose only if you normally or routinely live in another country and are not considered a resident of Canada. Also, if you do not have a significant residential ties in Canada, you live outside Canada throughout the tax years, or you stay in Canada for less than 183 days in the tax year. So in this case, do not worry. Even if you are an international student who started in September or basically end of the year, you could still consider yourself resident. It's not going to do any harm to you, okay? As long as more than 90% of your yearly income would still come from Canada. But let's say if you are working back home and 90% of that income for that particular year comes from outside Canada, then in that case, you should not fill out this form for this year. Please wait and fill out this form next year. So I'm going to skim through only the important pieces here, so you don't have to look at everything and can fill out this form quickly, okay? The first one is the basic personal amount. Now I'm assuming because you are an international student, you are doing a part-time job. That means your salary is less than $173,205. So in that case, you can keep this $15,705 in box number 1. Box number 2 is for Canada caregiver amount for infirm children under 18. Now I believe if you are an international student, most likely you are here on your own or with your spouse, so this one does not apply. If you have questions, please let me know. The third one is the age amount, also for people who are retiring or already retired, so we'll skip through that as well. Please make sure that when we are skipping through anything, enter 0 in that box. The fourth one is pension amount, again 0 in that box. The fifth one is tuition amount. Now this one is important, so let's discuss about this. Some of the common questions people have while filling out this part of the form is they have paid tuition fees last year but did not claim it. Can they claim it this year? They have taken some other courses. What should they do? So we'll cover all that right now, okay? As the form says that you have to fill out this form if you are a student at a university or college or an educational institution certified by the Employment and Social Development of Canada. So if you're doing any online courses or courses that are asked by your university but are not funded by your university, then in that case, you cannot enter those amounts, okay? So no Udemy, no Coursera, no those kind of courses. You can only claim your fees, which is the yearly fees. So let's say if you're starting at the beginning of the year, around January or February, you are filling out this form, then in that case, you have to calculate the full year fees which you are going to pay only for this year and enter that amount here. Let's say if you are filling out this form for the first time, but you already paid some fees last year and you haven't claimed that amount yet in your taxes, then you can enter the last year's amount plus this year's amount to make sure that you are claiming the complete fees, okay? Let's say you came in the mid of the year and you have paid the fees for this semester as well as next year's some semester, and in that case, please fill out only the fees of this year and not the next year. Next year, you can fill out the fees for next year, even if you have already paid, because it's a credit to your university and not basically claimed as a fees. You have not completed that semester yet or not granted admission into that semester yet. Now at this point, I would really appreciate if you could like this video, because this will help to reach this video to all the international students who needs to fill out their TD1 form. Next one is the disability amount. I'm skipping that. Number 7 is again the most commonly asked questions related to the spouse amount. Now in this case, if your spouse is living with you in Canada and if you're supporting your spouse, that means if they are not working at all or their salary is less than the box number 1 amount, in that case you have to enter the difference between the box number 1 amount and their salary. But let's say if they are a student student and you are working and they don't have any salary, just enter the full amount of box 1, which is 15,705 here. Okay. The next amount is the amount for eligible dependent. Please make sure that your parents do not come under eligible dependents. It's only you, your spouse and your kids. Okay. I'm skipping through this as well. Number 9 is for the Canada caregiver amount. Again, put 0. Number 10 is Canada caregiver amount for dependents age 18 or older. Again, 0. Number 11 is amount transferred from your spouse or common law partner. Now, let's say if you are a spouse of a student in Canada, then in that case, if they are not working and they are not able to claim their tuition amount, and if you have a good salary in Canada right now, you can claim that tuition fees in your TD1 form, so you don't have to pay additional taxes here. But please remember, you cannot claim twice because you are already claiming your spouse's amount. They cannot claim. Number 12 is the amount transferred from a dependent, which again put 0. And number 13 is the total claim amount. So please add all the values from number 1 to number 12 and put the total in number 13. In most of the cases, you will probably have the tuition fees and everything else will be 0. So just add those two values and put in number 13. Now let's go to the page number 2 here. The most commonly asked question is about this tick box, which is more than one employer or pair at the same time. Now what happens is you have to check this box and put 0 in all the values if you already filled out this form for one employer this year, or if you filled out this form for an employer last year and they are continuing to use that TD1 form for this year's taxes as well. But let's say if you're filling out this form for the first time in this year and you haven't filled out this form before as well for any of the current employer, then in that case you are claiming these credits for the first time, and in that case you do not have to tick this box because this is the first time you are filling out this TD1 form for any employer this year for which you are not already working. Please let me know if you have any other questions related to this in the comment section below. The next checkbox is for the total income less than the total claim amount. Now in this case, let's say if your total income, if you want to calculate, you can calculate as well based on the number of hours. But if you believe that your total income will be less than $15,705 for this year, then you can just tick this box. That means the employer will know that they cannot claim any taxes because all the taxes are covered by the credits. The next section is for non-residents only, so I'm skipping this one out as well. The next section is deductions for living in the prescribed zone. I'm skipping this one out as well, but if you need to understand, please watch the full video here. The next section is about additional tax to be deducted. Now I'm skipping this one out as well because you don't need it as an international student most likely. And finally, put your signature down there and you are done. You can provide this form to your employer and they will know how much tax to deduct from your salary. So I hope this video was helpful to you. Please subscribe to my channel if you want me to make more such videos in future. Thank you very much and I will see you in the next one.